In this video, we're going to talk about inheritance, and this is the last concept I'm going to do in this tutorial. So this is also one of the more complicated concepts, so if you don't understand it once, I recommend that you look online for some more information and maybe some more examples. But inheritance, we have actually already seen it when we looked at the override methods, because our animal class inherits from the object class. So we can also do that all the way around. We have our animal class, and we can actually have a different class inherit from our animal class. And why would we do that? Well, this could be a design choice, and the way we designed our application is that our animal has an animal kind, and this animal kind determines what kind of animal it is. But what we also could do is, instead of animal kind and then defining all these enum variables, we could also create objects of dog, cat and bird. And what we can do then is place the logic of these separate objects or these separate classes inside the class itself where it belongs to. In a real world scenario, there might be a lot of difference between a dog, cat and bird when it comes to an animal shelter, and that's why it can be handy when these classes are separated. So how does this work in code? Well, you have to bear with me because this is a little bit more complexer, as I already mentioned, but let's dive into our code. So here's where we left off in the last video. And now what we're going to do is create a class, and I'm just going to create one because all three would be a little repetitive. So I'm just going to create one class, and I'm going to create a cat class that inherits this animal class. So how does this work? Well, let's create it. So we create our class cat by using the class keyword and typing the name. And then we use the extends keyword and then animal to say, hey, this class inherits from the animal class. Then it's going to say something about a constructor. The superclass animal doesn't have a zero argument constructor. And what this means is every time we create now an object of our cat class, is actually behind the scenes creating an object of our animal class. And to do that, it needs its properties to register the right information. So what it expects us to do is that we call this constructor and give the information it needs to create an animal class. So let's do that. So what our cat class needs is only the name, because we know the kind when we create the cat class. So what we're going to do is I'm going to define the name again. So final string name, semicolon. And then I'm going to call the constructor. So I'm going to say cat. And then I'm going to say this.name, just like above here. But I'm not going to give in the kind because we don't need that. Then we need to access the constructor of our superclass or parent class. And as you saw at the override, when we created this toString method, that it calls the super.toString. And just as this super.toString, we need to call the superclass. So we do super, and then we open up brackets, and it knows now that we're trying to use the constructor of our inheriting class, so of our superclass, which is this constructor. And it's going to expect a name and a kind. And what we can do is we can give in the name, so this.name. And now we can give in the animal kind because we already know what it's going to be. So I'm going to say cat, and it has a problem with it. It says invalid reference to this expression, so probably if we delete this, then we're fine. Then a semicolon, and this way we created our cat class. So what we can do now is, just for example reasons, and I'm not saying that this is good code, but we could say that if animal kind, if kind is this animal kind dot cat, we are creating a cat class instead of an animal class. We're just giving in the name, and then we're going to add it to the animals. And we're going to put this in else, and I'm going to leave outside the print statement because I want to use that. Oh, this is not animal, this is cat. So I'm going to click the format here so it looks a little bit better. Okay, so why can we add the cat class here? Well, that's because we are inheriting from the animal class, so it says, hey, this is also an animal class, but it's of type cat, and that's fine. So first, let's just run this, okay, and see if it's still working. So we have Fred the cat, Harry the dog, and as you can see, we have still the woof, mew mew, but we are missing the print name, and that's because it's gone here. So I'm just going to delete here, so it wasn't there anymore, and that's why we don't see the name. And I'm going to run it again, and now the names are disappeared, and now move, mew mew, and unknown. So that's working fine. Now what we can also do, just like with the toString, we can override the method. And a method that we would want to override is this determine sound, because it's not necessary anymore. We already know what the sound is going to be. So first, let's just override that. And there's actually a better way to fix this, but still, let's just do that first. So we override, not a double V, override. And then we say void determine sound. And then I'm going to have to make the same. I have to make sure that this looks the same as this one, because otherwise it isn't going to override it. So I'm still going to expect the animal kind. And then I'm just going to say this dot sound, and as you can see, I can access the variables that are in our animal class and not in our cat class. That's because of the inheritance. So now I can set this to mew mew mew. And let's check this out if this works. So I expect here now mew mew mew. And as you can see, it's working. So that's really nice. And we could also do this for the dog and for the bird. And this way we can make sure that the logic is in the class that we expect it to be and not in the animal class. If we don't have the class for the animal itself, when it comes into our shelter, so let's say a giraffe, then we can let it make use of this animal class, and later on we create the giraffe class. But for now, let's focus on this cat class, because this is really nice, but there's actually a much more simpler way to override this sound method, and that's to override it directly. So I'm going to delete this again. I like my class in order, so I like my class the way they are designed at this moment. I want my properties on the top, getters and setters after that, then a constructor, and then our methods. This way I know where my properties are, where my getters and setters are, constructors, and where my methods, so it's really easy to navigate through my files, and it's much more easy to navigate when this is a big file at the moment. So what we can do is also override properties. So we can do override, not a double V again, and now we can just pick this property. And we can use a lambda expression again, because we just wanted to override this property. And we already know what it's going to give back. We don't want to set it again anymore, so we just want to override it. And now it's going to say class cat can define method underscore sound and have field animal underscore sound with the same name. Methods must have an explicit list of parameters. So the way we can fix that is just by setting the get before it. So now we say when we get this underscore sound, then I expect mew mew mew. And let's just add another mew to show that it's overriding the sound property. And as you can see, for mews now, so that's working. As you can see, along this tutorial, we build a really big file. So normally, when you work inside the editor, just like Visual Studio Code, I would recommend to do this in separate files, because it's really hard to oversee what's going on at the moment. Actually, the last thing that I want to do is, now as you can see, it is still saying Harry the dog, Fred the cat, and Larry the bird, and that's because of our toString method. But if I now delete this, then it's going to show which class it is, so instance of animal and stuff like that. And as we expect, probably, this is going to be instance of animal, this is going to be instance of animal, but this is going to be instance of cat. So let's run this and confirm it. And as you can see, it's instance of cat. So I'm going to leave it here for now. If you want to implement the dog and the bird class, I would really recommend it, so you can practice a little more with this concept. Also, being good at coding really comes with putting in the hours, so I always recommend to do some extra work if it comes to that.